The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank will decide on Monday whether to proceed with their October 9 to October 15 annual meetings in the earthquake-hit Morocco after completing a thorough review of the country's ability to host the meetings. This is according to the IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva. Georgieva also said that the IMF had reached a staff-level agreement with Morocco to provide a $1.3 billion loan to bolster the country's resilience to climate-related disasters from the fund's new Resilience and Sustainability Trust. Marrakech, 72 kilometers from the quake's epicenter, suffered some damage in its ancient Medina quarter, but Moroccan officials have pressed the IMF and the World Bank to proceed with the gathering, which will bring some 10 to 15,000 visitors to the city. To discuss this, we're joined by Dr. Mohamed Housaini. He's a professor of international law. Very good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time, Dr. Housaini.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Morocco has insisted, like you heard from that report, that Marrakech hosts the IMF and World Bank annual meetings in October, despite the devastating earthquake that we're all still currently monitoring over there. Do you think the meetings will affect in any way the recovery efforts?
I think that it will take place effectively in Marrakech. Personally, out of the position of government, I visited Marrakech recently, 2 days ago, and I observed that all the principal hotels and the places of meeting and everything are safe, and there is no any effect of the earthquake on these places. Even the city of Marrakech, except some very exceptional positions, everything is all right today. For the simple reason that the heart of the earthquake took place in more than 72 kilometers away from Marrakech, in the cities of Amzmis, Ibrahim, and so on. There, the situation is really devastating, but in Marrakech, everything is safe. And even the spokesperson of the Moroccan embassy in Washington told the press recently that Morocco, anyway, will go ahead with the annual meeting of the World Bank and the IFM, despite the devastating earthquake happened last Friday. So, for this reason, I think that the board of the both institutions will take the final decision on next Monday. And because even the World Bank have a special aid to Morocco to boost the resilience concerning these situations, I think that the final decision, 80% or 90%, will be in favor of the organization of this conference, the meetings, in the same date from 9 October to 15. And I hope that it will be, because anyway, for Morocco itself, this organization of the meeting in Marrakech will help and encourage tourists to come more and more to the country, because the hub of tourism, not only in Morocco, but even in Africa, is Marrakech. And if such organization will not take place for its conference, it will be a very bad news for other tourists to be probably not encouraged to come to Morocco. So the situation is safe, everything is all right, and I hope that the final decision will be positive.
Interesting. Other considerations are security, lodging, safety, and whether Marrakech's infrastructure, including water and power systems, as well as medical facilities, can handle the influx of people. We're looking at between 10 to 15,000. Do you think this will be a strain on the country's resources at such a very trying time?
I think that the situation will permit such organization. We know that about between 12 and 15,000 members, because this meeting is not something which really easy to organize. It's not only the number, but even the different groups organizing the conference. We know that beside the World Bank and the Monetary Fund members, there is central bankers, there is ministers of finance of all countries, member of the fund, there is parliamentarians who are participating too, and of course civil society is present with its organizations, and even the economic, on the economic level, we don't forget that many high-level economic corporations will participate in the meeting, and even the meeting is not organized in one unit. It's organized in different places for symposiums, press conferences, meetings of groups, and so on. Very large activity. In my point of view, Marrakech, not a small city. We remember that since 1994, the GATT organization and the institution establishment of the Organization of Trade, it's organized in Marrakech with the participation of more than 170 countries. Today, Marrakech is advanced in what concerning all disponibilities, hospitals, hotels, five-star hotels, places for organizing meetings, and so on. And even the committee that visited the country before the earthquake has observed all the disponibilities that Morocco has to receive this conference. And I think that it's not the first time that Morocco succeeded in organizing international meetings. And I suppose everything will be on the right way.
Right. Finally, do you think the meeting will focus on, apart from what we normally know the annual meetings to be, aid and relief efforts for the country, as well as the general global debt talks, and even looking at African issues in particular?
Not only for the Moroccan as a country, but for all the African countries. It's a very important meeting for African countries in particular, because under the line of poverty, many countries suffer from these situations. And I think that one of the principal subjects that is to be discussed in the meeting is the poverty eradication. And of course, when we talk about poverty eradication, we talk about economic development. The development is not going on the right way until now in African countries. And probably the World Bank and IMF will play a very important role in this mechanism. You know that these two organizations have been organized under the agreements of Bretton Woods more than 70 years ago, since 1946. The model that has been implemented in this time is no more useful for these countries. They were, at this time, they were colonized under the control of Western countries. Today, things are different. And this difference has to be looked by African countries in the act of the World Bank and IMF. Of course, aid effectiveness has to be analyzed. What is important not only to give aid as money, but to institutionalize the activities of both institutions. We know that IMF is, of course, a normative institution, because for the simple reason, each dollar given to any country from this institution can bring with it more than $5 from other institutions. And so the models of development imposed sometimes from the bank and from the IMF has to be modified to respond to the real needs of these developing countries, not only in Africa, but even in Asia and in South America. Morocco now is a model of an emergent country. I think that other countries in the region are very important. Nigeria is one of the most important countries in Africa. And when collaboration under the supervising of the institutions of the World Bank and IMF, I think that the possibilities to establish this pipeline from Nigeria to Morocco to reach Europe will be a very good opportunity for more developed 11 or 14 countries. And of course, it's with one of the wishes of all countries in the region.
Interesting. you talked about the gas pipeline, which is something we're looking forward to hearing about. But I would like to say that our thoughts right here in Nigeria and across the African continent are with the people of Morocco who share a special relationship with those in sub-Saharan Africa, as you well know. Dr. Mohamed Housaini, Professor of International Law, joined us live from Morocco. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, sir, for having me.